My name is Useni Eugene Perkins. Useni is my African name, and it's taken from the country of Malawi, which is in East Africa. And the meaning of Useni means tell me. So Useni Eugene Perkins, as you know, I was born 1932, which means I'm 88 years old. And I founded the Association of the Development of Black Youth in 1980. I also was a professor at Chicago State University for 15 years. And so that gives you a brief background of my professional life.
What do you think your biggest contribution has been to the South Shore community?
Well, that's hard to measure because you get caught up in egos. I think as a consultant that I have worked with several of the community organizations, providing them with staff training and other support systems, the Black United Fund. And I have spoken at most of the schools in South Shore. I can't remember the names of all of them, but many times, especially during Black History Month, I'm asked to come in to speak to the children, and mainly because of the poem I wrote, Hey Black Child. Seems like that poem is everywhere. And so that may be a contribution. Hopefully it has some type of positive impact on the children. And there are other young professionals that I have mentored. I have mentored many young professionals that live in South Shore, at least near South Shore to my knowledge. I also would like to mention that a picture of my father, the mural on 71st in Jeffrey, my father is a sculptor. Well, his picture is on that large mural on the east side of the street on the corner of 71st and Jeffrey.
Why do you think Black History Month should be celebrated?
Well, there's a saying, I forgot who made the quotation. Without a knowledge of your history, it's like a tree without roots. And unfortunately, we have not been provided the authentic history of Black people in this country. History means his story, HIS hyphen STORY. And unfortunately, we have not heard our story. And so Black history is important. As you know, or maybe not, it was founded, I believe, in 1960, Carter G. Woodson. It began as Negro History Week. A lot of people don't know that. Before it became Black History Month, and now we call it Black Liberation Month. And because unfortunately it's not taught in most of our schools, although there is a place for Black history, but for some reason it's not taught. And Black history should really be 365 days out of a year, not just Black History Month. And why is it the shortest month? February, 28 days. So Black history should be taught. And that is one way to inform young people about how we came to this country. Many of you know that last year a lot of people talked about 1619. And that was when the first enslaved Africans were brought to Jamestown, Virginia in 1619. That's been over 400 years. And so for the most part, I think that many young people, even older people, just think about slavery. They don't have any understanding about the great civilizations that were took place in ancient Africa, Kemet, Kemet, and that enslavement tried to take away our culture, it took away our language, and it took away our names. So Black history is important to give us a sense of identity of
Mm-hmm.
who we are as a people. And other people cannot provide that for you. And
Yep.
it's our responsibility to uh, expose our young people. And I keep saying young people because it's really about the young people.
Mm-hmm.
And if the young people don't understand their history, then um, future generations will be having some of the same problems.
What advice would you provide to our up and coming leaders and movers and shakers of the world?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because who are the movers and shakers? I think first we have to see that we share a common ground. And a lot of that has to do with your history. Because if you don't understand your history, you don't see the commonality that we have. Now, we know we have different incomes,
Mm-hmm.
and Black people are not monolithic. I'm not saying we have different religions, uh, we have different interests, but we do have a common ground. And once we acknowledge that, then hopefully we could get together and begin to develop programs, institutions. We
Mm-hmm.
need to control our own institutions, okay? And so we have the resources. In fact, Black people in America are probably one of the richest people on the planet Earth. We have
Mm-hmm.
more
Yep.
gross wealth than some African nations. So we're not a poor people. We have been programmed to
Mm-hmm.
function as poor people. But if we shared all of our resources and came together collectively, we could do a lot. Like, and I hate to always refer to the Jewish people, but we know what they've done. The Jewish people is only about 10% of the population here in this
Mm-hmm.
country. And look what they own and look what they control.
Mm-hmm.
So once our leaders begin to understand that we have a common destiny, that uh, then we can. Um, so many of our leaders have these egos,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But uh, to be a leader, you have to be a follower. And to be a teacher, you also have to be a student,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
regardless of age. And I think these are some of the things that may contribute to uh, Black people, especially in Chicago and in South Shore, because we have so many resources in South Shore. You got some outstanding people. You got judges, you got lawyers, you got
Mm-hmm.
teachers, you got just about every professional uh, 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 in South Shore.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could all come together collectively and loosen our egos and say, well, look, we're going to do what is in the best interest of the majority of the people, I think things will change. Not overnight. It's going to take time.
So, how are you staying safe and sane during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, at my age, I don't have much choice. I've had health problems, but God has been good to me and I've been blessed. Uh, so I try to conform to some of the guidelines. I only go out when it's necessary, go shopping for
Mm-hmm.
groceries like that. I'm on Zoom so much. My goodness, this Zoom is a mess. I go to church on Zoom. I go to meetings on Zoom. I do teaching. I'm doing mentoring workshops for the Black Star. You may have heard of the Black Star, which
Mm-hmm.
is really at 35th and King Drive. Well, I teach some of their mentors. And so uh, this new normal means that you may not be able to go out, but you can do a lot through the Zoom. And so these are some of the things that I do. I'm always writing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that um, I'd like to show. Can you see? This is
Yes.
my latest book, my memoir. It's about my life. It was very difficult to write about. And there's another book, uh, Rise of the Phoenix, that I
Mm-hmm.
wrote, published 3 years ago, Third World Press. And we should acknowledge Hakeem Mehabuti, uh, who is the founder and the publisher of Third World Press. They have made a great contribution not only to the country and to Chicago, but also to South Shore. So I've been very fortunate. I'm still writing something, and I try to share as much information possible with young people like yourself,
Thank
because
you.
you are the next generation.
Thank you.
And
Thank
as I indicated, I've been very blessed. When much is given, much is
you.
expected.